Welcome to Celebrate and Chill, the podcast where the hustle meets the heart behind the scenes of the event world. I'm your host, Kenetia, and here we keep it real about what it takes to create unforgettable experiences, one celebration at a time. Whether you're an event pro, a creative entrepreneur, or just curious about the magic and the mayhem that happens behind the curtain, you're in the right place. So grab a drink, take a breath, and let's celebrate and chill. Welcome to Celebrate and Chill. We are here with Edith Mendoza, who is a hybrid producer. She works on experiential as well as film production. She works in the U.S. as well as abroad. She is a dynamo. I've known her for years, and I'm so excited to welcome her to the show. Edith Mendoza, thank you for coming to Celebrate and Chill. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me, Kenetia. I'm really excited to jump into this.
I love it. Thank you. All right, so my first question, I would love for you to take us through your career as a producer, because I know you do both. Did you get started as a producer? Was there a series of jobs you did that led you up to being a producer? Like, take us through that journey.
Basically, all of the above. I don't know who really goes into this industry saying I'm going to be a producer. It's a really interesting job to have. So I actually started my career in the world of writing. I got my degree in journalism, and then I ended up, my first big entertainment job was with Perez Hilton, if people know of him, the big blogger. So I was writing a lot of gossip, and then there was always like celebrities coming in and out. We'd have shoots, we'd have this. So I was like more intrigued by that rather than just sitting at my desk and writing smack about them. I'm just like, I'm kind of over this. So I ended up leaving, and then from there, I got this job at a film production company. We did a lot of fitness. I was actually doing social media, and then at that point, I started helping the producer, and I'm like, I really enjoy production. So it was just the combination of being able to do marketing, but also doing the film production side, which was very intriguing for me.
Ooh, I'm so intrigued. You were with Perez. Oh, wow. I remember. So it's funny because some people that are born in 2012 or so, they don't really know Perez for the Perez.
No, they don't.
Right?
They do not.
Exactly. So I'm really intrigued by that. So you were actually writing gossip.
I was writing gossip. A lot of people may not know him. I think now he does a lot of like TikTok stuff. I honestly don't even know what he's doing at this point in time, but I interviewed for that job, and I was like up against maybe, I don't know, 50 other candidates. It was like a time where he was just very, very popular. And I'm like, no, I really want this job. I'm like a girl fresh out of college. I'm like, this sounds interesting. And I moved to LA in 2011. So, okay, I need to nail this because I want to work in entertainment. And that's how I got in.
That is crazy. And so I know you as this amazingly brilliant, smart, woman. And so it does not surprise me that you got chosen out of even 1,500 if you would have told me that was the case. So
yeah,
you have so much talent in your little pinky. So that's perfect that was your start, and that you evolved from that. Like you're just like, maybe not. So did Perez.
Right.
So Perez. So there you go. You were right in line with that. So that was actually my next question for you was, how long have you been producing event and or content for films or commercials?
So I got my start in 2014 when I started working for the fitness production company. We were like producing, this is when DVDs were still a thing. Like,
what?
I'm like, I'm 38, baby. We were doing this for a minute. So like
Right.
DVDs were still being produced. We were producing things for like Kim Kardashian, Billy Blanks. Like, I don't know if anyone remembers when Kim started doing like her fitness stuff. So I'm just like,
I've
yeah,
never even
she
seen
was.
it. I'm going to look it up now.
Denise Austin, like everyone who was big in the DVD space, like we produced the content for them, like their DVD fitness stuff. So
Wow.
I was just so intrigued by it because I'm also a fitness girl. So I'm like right in the space of where I want to be. Like it's creative, it's marketing, it's production. And from there I just started falling in love with it. Then I jumped into doing music videos like shortly after, just from meeting people from that studio, and then somehow jumped into reality TV. And then, not that I was doing anything big, but it was just that part of like, wow, I'm actually here. Well, I shouldn't say nothing big because I did do a Janae Aiko and Big Sean video as a
That's
coordinator. So that
awesome.
was
Yeah.
let me pat myself on the back
That's
for
right.
that.
That's right. I
And
love
then
that.
in 2018, that's when I actually jumped into experiential.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So is pre-COVID, which is awesome.
Hmm.
Experiential, I believe that's how we actually met each other.
Yes.
And that in and of itself, I will tell you, you are always my favorite person.
Oh, thank you.
I think, wait, so 20, let me go back, right? So 2018, I started my business in 2016, right? So it's now
Okay.
almost 10 years. And so I met you 2 years into my start.
Yes.
So, I think for me, you just your personality, it was great. It was like, I knew you were about your business. I knew you were like, had a ton of stuff on your plate. I knew that I needed to get you answers when you needed them. Like
Yeah.
there were things that I picked up on when we first started working together. I was just like, okay, let me make sure I got everything on board and what we're doing and stuff like that. So, you were part of my also start. Like even though I started in 2016, it wasn't until 2017 that I really started doing events and really when
Yeah.
I yeah was learning the language. And I think that you and your personality, like you were so gracious, I think, with us
Oh, thank
as a
you.
vendor. So it was really a great experience for me. With that being said, what would you say is like your secret sauce to finding clients, or where do you look to acquire new clients? I'm imagining, just from my experience in events, is such a small world, right? So you can answer either or both of those questions.
I would say it's small yet big at the same time. When I met you, that was my very first experiential job with the agency Game 7. And
Yep.
I actually got brought in as kind of like a permalance person.
Oh, okay.
And
Explain
so
what that is,
very
because I'm not sure what that means.
yeah, so permalance is like they don't hire you on like as a full-time individual, which basically means you don't get all the benefits. You don't get
Got
like
it.
that sort of thing. But
Okay.
you are on as a full-time individual. With that, I mean,
Got
yeah,
it.
it's kind of one of those things where like yes, you have a very long contract, but you're pretty much still a 1099 employee and you're working for yourself. So you're still paying your own taxes. You're still paying like your own benefits and things like that. They like to use it as like if you're a person who does want to go into full time, like that could work, right? Like you get the permalance job, you get your feet wet with that agency, and then you decide,
Yeah.
do I want to work with these people or do I not? So in that moment, I'm not gonna lie, like 2018, I was 30 years old. Like I was nowhere near like the person that I am today. So I'm just like, I need a job.
I
I need a
understand
job
completely.
and I need to make this money. And but it's like, of course, working with an agency like that, like they had huge brands behind them, like Nike after Nike, Converse, Jordan brand. So I'm just like, I'm winning right now. Like I'm just gonna do my thing and continue to do my best. Do you want me to explain what a freelancer is versus a permalance or
I was just going to say, it sounds like you were a freelancer, but
yeah.
no,
But not
you're
really.
making a distinction, right? So tell us, please give us the difference.
Basically was a freelancer, but then I kind of wasn't, which now that I'm like really thinking about it and I'll just put it out there was kind of not fair to a degree.
Okay.
They kind of owned me, but then because I was still going to the office all the time, like I wasn't like working from home. Whereas like now as a freelancer, I work from home. I choose the projects I want to work on. No one necessarily owns me. I continue to like gain as many clients as I want to. I don't have to say no. So,
Got
like
it.
to me, being a freelancer has so many benefits. I'm always working on so many different projects and different types with different agencies, and I don't have to just be in one bubble, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. I think now, as you're telling, like going through it more, in California specifically, I think a lot of that has actually stopped because it's according to California, it's not a thing. Like
Yeah,
what you just said is like you don't get to pick your projects. You don't get to, you get to you have to come into an office and things like that. Like in
right.
California, they consider that employment. And you know what I'm saying? As opposed to a freelancer, which is like, nope, I have no particular loyalty to one agency. I
Yeah,
can work on many different projects, and you get a whole bunch of write-offs. You
right,
get
right, right.
all of your you can write off everything as opposed to that company taking all of your write-offs, right? So thank you for that. That is a very good distinction and something that I am just learning myself. So I'm sure our audience will be like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
Now they're hip to that. So thank you. So are there particular industry like mm, magazines or I don't know, websites or maybe it's LinkedIn. I don't know that you yourself, like when you're looking for to take on
hmm
something new, where do you look to find new stuff?
If I'm on a power of outreach, I'm constantly just like cold emailing people. Not so
Nice.
much anymore. I think I've gained enough like agency connections and whatnot to where it's like as like last year, 2025 was the most successful year that I've ever had. So I'm
I love
like
it.
so proud of myself. I'm just like, okay, girl, you really like financially, career growth, like just inner mental health growth. It was everything. So it got to a point where I'm like, I'm not even having to reach out myself. Like people have come to me. But I really think that is, and this is going to be a longer answer, but
No,
that
keep
really
going.
depends on like how you feel about yourself, right? Like your self confidence, your inner glow, like what kind of energy are you putting out? Because that really dictates if people are going to contact you or if they're not. When you're in survival mode, I think people feel that and they're just like, I don't really want to work with that person because it's really not giving like good energy. So for me, I had to pull myself out of there because I was in a really like bad mental space, I would say like a year and a half ago, actually, like early 2025. And then I started shifting the way that I thought and started navigating through like these job searches in a very different way to where I'm like, I need to make myself really appealing in a way that people are going to feel like that energy is healing and safe because it's important. But with that being said, I was always still like cold emailing people, sending my resume, sending my website. And this is one thing that if people are new to this, what they need to have, make sure you, because you are a brand in yourself, make sure everything is like branded, like your resume, your portfolio, and your website, they all match. Like,
Yeah.
don't send stuff that is just like loose because it's like when you are dealing with these types of agencies, like imagine, let's just say it's Nike, for example. Nike has a brand, like everything correlates the way that it looks. And it's like you have to also make yourself seen that way because you're essentially working with those type of brands and you don't want to seem like, oh, I'm all over the place. Your resume's blue and your portfolio's yellow and like the color
Right.
scheme's not matching. And it's like make sure everything has a very clear connection to who you are.
Yeah, I think that, thank you for bringing that up. That's super duper important. And I think you also touched on another thing, like as far as your internal conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
People feel that.
they
They do.
understand,
Absolutely.
they understand whether or not like this is like dire stress, you gotta have it, or it's like, oh, this would be
Yeah.
nice and you could do a great job. You know what I mean? Like it's just a complete shift, which comes off to people in a
Thirsty.
very different way. Exactly. Thirsty. That's the best word. Thirsty. Yes. Let's get away from being thirsty, y'all. No more thirsties out there.
No.
2026, we're gonna rev it up to being you're full and you're taken
Abundance.
care of. You have what you need and everything is provided for you. So great. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, good. Cold calling. Wow, that's hard.
It's hard.
I would
It's
say
hard.
cold emailing less hard, cold calling, a little more like grit, right? Um,
Yeah.
and sometimes sometimes a lot of times that's necessary. I try to tell people that in sales all the time. Like if you're going to work for yourself, you got to get on the phone, and it's
Right,
okay
right.
just talking to another person. Either they
Right.
have something or they don't, and really at the end of the day, is it personal or is it that you're making it personal? I'm gonna say 100% of the time it's like we are usually making it personal, when really it's just like you are one in however many calls they get every day, every week, every month, or whatever. And maybe you're calling at the right time, at the right moment, and you're making that connection. So, good on you. Congratulations. You're badass.
Thank
I
you.
just have to say it. Okay, so in all of your years of producing events, what excites or motivates you when you start working on a new event or production?
I would say number one thing would have to be the creative, for sure. I've
Okay.
worked on a lot of things that the creative is boring. So at that point, like when you get to my level, I'm like, it's just money. Because I don't really care about this like the project. And I hate to say that, but it's like let's be honest, it's just real. So then it just
Yeah.
becomes a paycheck. But when you're working on something that really is true to you and like the things that you like to do, it's not just a paycheck. It's like I really enjoy this creative. I really love the passion behind it, the depth and like what it stands for.
Okay.
So that
It
gets
has
me
meaning
going.
to you. Right. I love
Exactly.
that. I love that. Okay. So, is there a brand or client that you dream of working for?
Oh man, have I even really thought about that?
That's a great, right? Like, I sometimes have to really ask myself, like, to go
You
deeper
know,
because I've done a lot of stuff.
I yeah, I haven't actually thought about that, but I the one thing I have not gotten into is the luxury space. So,
Okay.
I would say like high-end luxury brands is somewhere where I'm looking to land next because that's something that I have not done. And I've worked with a lot of amazing brands, but I have not hit that market. So, maybe
Okay.
2026 will bring that to me. I'm a manifested baby.
Yay! I'm sure we'll look back at this and you'll have
Yeah.
done it. So I have no doubt about it. Awesome. Yeah, luxury brands. We've done some luxury brands, and um, I'm gonna say that of all of the brands that we've ever worked for, um, luxury brands are kind of like the surgeons of brands. So,
Mm.
like surgeons, they have to be like precise. You got to have your,
Right, right.
cut in the very specific place, and you can't go over, under. All this other stuff has to be so deep and not deep
Right,
enough.
right.
Um, and so the precision part is makes it, for me, it's just like a little bit more challenging. So I can see why that would be like, oh yeah, let's see what that's all about, and add that to your plethora of experience.
Absolutely.
So cool. Okay, so what is the most creative experience you've had, working in events?
The
so
most
far?
creative experience, like the most creative activation
Yeah.
I've worked on. I would say Coachella. I did Coachella back in, oh my God, it was like right after, like we were still in COVID, but I think it was 2023, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So
Yep.
almost 3 years now. I did the YouTube Artist Lounge, which was backstage, and it was a pretty huge activation. So I was the senior producer running everything on it. So everything from managing like the art, lighting, security, client, what have you, every single thing that you can imagine, like I was managing it, as long also celebrity appearances and like all
Wow.
those sorts of things. So it was a tough job. Being out in Coachella for a month was really hard. There's this thing that you develop, Coachella cough.
I
That was
bet
a
all
thing.
that dust.
Yeah, but riding
Yeah.
around on the golf carts from place to place was fun. I was there. It was hard. It was a really tough job. And when you're on those types of activations, like even though they're creatively so beautiful, a lot of people can't really like handle that type of stress because like you're dealing with the weather, like the elements, right? So you're dealing with
Right.
not only the elements, but then you're dealing with various personalities. You're dealing with like so many logistical things that can go wrong, and you can imagine everything that should have went wrong on that
Right.
job.
I bet.
Yeah,
And you kept your cool. I know you. I know you kept your
I
cool.
did.
So you know what? I want to touch on that just a little bit because I
Okay.
think that's so important, right? The whole title of this is like celebrate and chill. We'll get to some questions around that later. But how do you maintain a sense of maybe levity, groundedness, during those like really intense times where you do have several things that are going wrong or people calling out like wait, you should be here,
Hmm.
that should be there, so give us whatever you do for yourself that it makes you more grounded, more have more levity, or to make things smooth out the rough spots.
I think that goes back to how you manage your personal mental health when you're not at work.
Okay.
So for me, I
Real
study
talk,
so
real
much.
talk.
Like, yeah, right.
That's real talk.
For real. For real. Like, I study so much like self-development. Um, Last year, I also got into a lot of Buddhism, which has been like extremely calming. So, like, being in that space where you're like just zen. I practice a lot of yoga too. So I know with like the amount of craziness that I deal with at work, I need to have inner peace because like when you start being that individual who is also freaking out, and like I like to call myself like the mother of everyone because in a sense I am. Like I'm managing every single party that comes with the production. So like for me, it's just really important to have like that inner peace. So whenever I'm in those stressful situations, I'm able to navigate them with grace. Because if I'm freaking out and they're freaking out, like what, like everyone's gonna freak out, and I just don't understand how that could even work, even though I've seen it many times.
You and me both. You and me both. We've
Right.
seen it. I know. It's something to witness too, right? And don't get caught in the
Yes.
storm of someone else's running things, and you're like,
Yep.
wait, wait a second. That's very, very cool. So, is there any particular type of yoga that you do?
Not really.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of like every single night I throw something on YouTube and just make sure
I love it.
that before I go to bed, I'm able to just throw everything out the window that I dealt with throughout my day and just go to rest, go to sleep very peacefully because it's important.
Yeah.
A good night's sleep is also very important being a
Ooh.
producer because your days are like insane all the time.
Right. Right. Well, that's awesome. I used to be hardcore like Bikram, and so I've mellowed that out. Not so
Hmm.
A type personality, so I could appreciate the variety that you're speaking of.
Yes.
just to, you release tension through your muscles, and so yoga does a lot of that, and just the breath
Absolutely.
aspect, and mindfulness, like, oh, I'm probably stretching myself too much, or what have you, is really something, like you said,
Yeah.
to take you into other parts of your life, which work is part of. So, if you can, and only if you can, and we understand if you can't, are there any projects right now that you're working on that you can share with us that are like exciting?
I wish I could, but I cannot, as you can
Nope,
imagine.
I already
Uh,
know.
I am working on two really cool projects. I have line actually three. I can't like I'm always taking
Wow.
on so many projects, yeah, that are coming up. I'm already booked through March, which is such a blessing. I just know there's gonna be like more and more things coming up. But yeah, all three very different types of projects. But I tend to always end up in the beauty and sports marketing space, which is what I'm currently doing right now, stretched across those three projects. But I'm excited for all three.
Sounds like fun. I can't wait to hear post what it was. Would love
Yes,
to
absolutely.
keep up with you. So given that we've just wrapped up 2025, what was the highlight of last year? First, I want to say professionally, and then I want to say what was your highlight personally for 2025?
Professionally, the highlight of 2025 was just the amount of projects that I was able to complete, which was pretty insane. I think in October was like my busiest year. I mean, busiest, it felt like a year.
It felt like a whole year, right? I
It
do
felt like a
understand
whole
that.
year.
I do understand that. Trust me.
No,
I feel like
October was my
everyone wants to
busiest month.
do like an event in October. Like, I don't know what that's about, but it's true.
That was funny. It felt like a freaking year. But no, October was my busiest month. I was like on six different projects, which was quite insane. And I was just
Wow.
like, I need to get over this hump. And then like the projects just kept coming. Like November and then December came, and it's just like I didn't get a break at all. But when you don't get a break, but you like what you're doing, I think it's totally fine. I mean, I'm not saying don't get rest because I was getting my rest where I could get it, but my just the biggest thing for 2025 was just the amount of projects that I was able to be on and like did them successfully as
I
well.
love it.
So,
Well, congratulations. That's
thank
amazing.
you.
That is totally amazing. Okay. So before I get into this, has been my very last question. That's more of a long form question, and then we're gonna get into some
Hmm.
rapid fire kind of stuff. So, is there anything? Oh, no, no, no. Sorry, I gotta go back, girl.
Yeah, the
Personally, talk to
personally.
me about personally in 2025.
Oh man, we could go deep in that one. So, okay, I started the year of 2025 extremely depressed. I'm not gonna lie. I'll put it out there. I don't think too many people talk about depression, but it's a whole thing and it affects your entire life, like everything that you're doing. So in 2023, I came out of a really tough relationship. Like I was in a 6 year relationship and that ended and I didn't know who I was. It was kind of like I was a brand new puppy going into the world, like
Yeah.
who am I, and trying to find my footing. And even though like I've been in this space of like production and whatnot, I almost felt like I still didn't know myself. So it took me a while. It was late 2023. But then going into 2025, like I was still on this really big journey of finding who I was, and then also this healing journey, trying to get myself back to a space where I had mental clarity and also happiness. And when
Yeah.
you don't have happiness, that is really tough to like deal with your everyday life because you're waking every day like, what the hell am I doing? Like,
Right.
I don't like waking up thinking about what the hell am I doing. That's not a good place to be. So, I ran the marathon, the LA Marathon in
I do know
2025, if you
that.
remember.
So
After I
proud of you.
ran, thank you. After I ran that marathon last year, I like felt like I was rebirthed. Like it almost everything in my life just significantly changed. Like career wise. Oh, I didn't even mention I had a full time job for 2 years, and I lost that job in February 2025. And
Got it.
it was actually a blessing that I lost that job. So like when you go through tough things like that, it's almost like, oh my God, in that moment you're rattled. What am I even doing? And not to mention, during that time period, I had actually just started the remodel on my house in Phoenix. So like
Yes.
now I was in a whole nother state trying to figure out my life with a house that needed remodeling that I already started, and then I didn't have a job, and then I was running the marathon.
Right. You're like, wait,
But
what?
like, God, what are you doing right now? Like, what is going on? But like, when you really want something, you need to come out of it. And also depression, right? At the same time.
Yeah.
So I had all these things going on and it just came bam at the same time. But something just shifted after I ran that marathon. It was like my brain, like chemistry just was like, no, you're not going to be this sad little girl anymore. Like, we are changing your life around. And I got to that finish line, and it's almost like I started at a new start line or whatever you would call it, the fresh start.
Right.
And from there, it was like the jobs started coming in, and it was like I could, at that moment, I'm like, I couldn't even keep up with it. I'm like, but I was planting seeds at the same
Right.
time, like even when I was at my full-time job. But now that my energy was different, it was like I was attracting all of these things to come in and they were like gravitating toward me. So I would say my biggest thing of 2025 was just like the personal growth that I took and everything that I created. And like now my house is fully remodeled, getting ready to rent it out. And just it's like so many new things are happening. And I'm so proud of myself for that.
I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
on all of it. And I remember you reaching out to me regarding the marathon. I was like, "Ooh, boy, whew,
Yeah.
okay." And I was like, when you finished, and I think we text each other during that time.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, because I had done a triathlon before, and there is
Yeah.
something very cathartic. That's the only word I can come up with right now about doing something physically challenging that you don't know in your head that you can do, but then when you achieve it, you're like, wait, no problem. I can achieve anything else, you know?
Right.
It's,
Right.
yeah. So, you know, it's that to me, I find it to be that mind, body, spirit, like connection. And they're not, you know, they're not separate unless you separate them. They all kind of
Right.
impact each
They're all
other.
together.
When you do one thing, it really does impact everything else. So, thank you for sharing. That was very deep, and I get it. I mean, honestly, running a business, being a freelancer, like driving your own economy is stressful, right? It's
Yeah.
stressful. And sometimes, you know, whether you have a job or, you know, you get let go from a job or what have you, it's those moments that kind of redefine your whole thinking in your
Yeah.
brain. And you're kind of like, wait, I can't not do something. And
Right.
what will that be? And I think that's a really good point to drive home is like, well, if you don't know what to do in the work area, do something physical or do
Right.
something spiritual so that that perception of whatever that area is changes and it also changes the others. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Of
Okay,
course.
so rapid fire, rapid fire. First thing I'd like to ask, what's your favorite event food?
My favorite event food. I did just work with this really dope caterer. They're called Blood, Sweat, and Butter.
Ooh,
They create like these experiences that are unique to each brand. It's very off-kilter type of food. Like you wouldn't even like any color you want, they'll make the food and it just looks amazing. So I wouldn't say particularly like a dish, but I guess so far they've been my favorite caterer just because of how unique they actually like plate everything and make the experience look.
okay, great. Okay, so wait, their name is Blood.
Blood, Sweat, and Butter.
So I thought you were going to say like something about the butter part because I already
No.
know coming from Chicago that anything made with butter is just off the charts. So
Yeah.
there it is, Blood, Sweat, and Butter. Thank you for that. So what's your most bizarre event experience?
Oh God.
It could be of one you've attended or one that you produce. It doesn't matter. But like, wow, that was weird.
Like things that have happened to me while I'm producing an event, or
Either or while you were at an event, you were like, oh wow, just what? And it doesn't have to be something you produce, but just like bizarre, like wait, what? That mm-mm.
so I did Fanatics Fest over the summer,
Tell us
in
what
New
that is,
York.
because I don't even know fanatic. Like that just what is fanatic? I mean, I could see what being fanatic is, but what would fanatic best be?
So it's a lot of media, clothing,
Okay.
sports, that sort of thing. So I did a Nike event at Fanatics Fest, and
Okay.
we were in the forefront of like everything. Like when people were walking in, like my booth was the first one that you saw.
Okay.
Um, you would think that people aren't doing things like this, but we had a very open air like space. People were stealing. Like it was like
Like here, I'll take
I mean,
this.
yeah, like because like how it was like space, so it was a round circle, and then we kind of like had jerseys like sitting out like right when you enter. So like it was an open air space where you can purchase things as you were supposed to
Got it.
purchase,
Right.
but people were purchasing with their fingers.
The
But
five
I
finger
wouldn't
discount,
say,
right?
yeah, the 5 finger discount. I wouldn't say that was like the weirdest thing. We also were having a lot of celebrity guests coming into the space. Um, and one was the biggest one was Travis Scott. And as we
Ooh.
know, Travis Scott brings a sort of crowd to the space that is like crazy, in lack of better words.
Yeah, yeah.
His fans broke the plexiglass on our counter. Like they were pushing each other so hard that like when it was all said and done and everyone moved out, like pretty much the whole front counter was broken.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
So
Okay. I get it. Wow. Okay. So next one. What is the best professional advice you've ever received?
oh man, I hate to be so cliche, but like honestly being yourself. People
Right? That's
like,
not
but all the,
cliche.
yeah, I'll explain it a little bit better because it's like when you're pretending to be something that you're not really going to get to a space that you want to get to because you're going to have to always pretend. And how can you always pretend if it's not who you are?
Right.
So staying true to yourself and like navigating in a space with your whole self is very important because if you don't, you're never going to get to the space that you actually want to get to. And also owning what you exactly want to do. I know, as I mentioned earlier, like I normally navigate through like the beauty and like sports world and also music. I love those spaces. So like when you're good at something, it's like staying in those lanes is
Yeah.
good. Like continuing to like gain that knowledge and like grow in it. But then, we're human. We always want to evolve. If you want to learn a totally different space, I think that's amazing too and like going into it. But the whole key thing is like sticking with it and like
Like,
actually being on purpose.
I love it. That's a great word, being on
Yeah.
purpose. That's good. Yeah. Okay. So, speaking of being on purpose, what advice would you give to someone coming up in this profession? Like they're just starting out, they don't know anything, they really want to get into it. What would be your best advice?
Oh, the biggest thing I would say is not to get offended or take things
Girl,
personally.
yes, absolutely. Right. I would absolutely agree with you. Because you will get squashed.
Oh, like
Especially in this industry,
immediately.
right? You especially in this industry.
Immediately. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
worked with way too many people that get offended so easily or like really take things personally to where now it's just dictating how they show up. I'm like, if you're going to act like that and allow someone else to like ruin your energy, like you're only allowing those people to ruin your energy if you let them, because you have control over who you are. And you
Right.
have to learn how to really like manage that, because in this industry, as you will know, like people are going to say the oddest things. People are going to be nasty to you. They're going to be mean. Like it comes with the territory. There's no way to navigate around it. You're not always going to work with the same people. So just being calm, learning how to be calm and
Yeah.
not get offended is a major thing.
Yeah. No, I will absolutely back you on that 110%. You know, I always like to think of it this way. It's like if however people are being has more to do with them than it does with me, right? And
Absolutely.
it's always like honestly, I just don't know what their last 5 minutes look like and
No.
why they are being crazy or ridiculous or nasty or whatever. And honestly, I think that has saved me more times than not, because it's like, oh, okay, like I literally will say to whatever the vibe it is that I'm getting from a person, it's like, okay, like
Right, right.
is are you okay? Like, sometimes it's like it's so egregious, it's like, are you okay? Like, are you okay that you would even speak this way to people, but like in a caring way. Like, are you okay? Because I'd like to, I'd like to make it better for
Mm-hmm.
you if I
Right.
can. So thank you. That's a really good one. Okay, so most important, and what this whole show is all about is how do you celebrate your wins and successes?
Like just what I personally like to do.
Girl, yes. What do you love to do?
I
Like, I mean, like
so
when you think about it, right? Like when you got your house, or when you finished your marathon, or like when you whatever the case may be. Like, how do you really celebrate you and your successes, or do you?
I do. Yes, I absolutely do. Every celebration is important. So the way that I celebrate myself after a success or a win, first and foremost, I like to thank myself
Yeah.
for getting up and being able to pull myself out of bed and do all the things that I do on a daily basis and everything that's thrown at me. Um, that comes first. I am a big foodie, so I also love to take myself out, or I'll go out with my friends, just to an amazing dinner because I deserve it.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
like, I'm not gonna lie, I splurge on when it comes to food. Like,
Good.
it doesn't matter because I don't really buy myself too many things. Like, I take a lot of my money and I invest it, which is like, girl, you need to like, I get it. You like doing that, but like also spoil yourself, right? Another
Yeah.
big thing, because like we're always tired from working these events. Like they're exhausting.
Exhausting.
They're exhausting. My nails done, spa day, like that sort of thing. I
Yeah.
really like dive in because it's necessary. Because I could be, it'll take me about a week to recover from
Right.
a week long event. Like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
Right. I get that. I love it. I actually have a membership at a one of my favorite spas. So I get it.
Yes.
I mean, and then like when I find that I haven't been in a while, I'm like, ooh, I think I'm gonna spend a
Yeah.
lot of money here because it's crazy. You have to just take care, self-care, right? Self-care.
Yeah, self-care is very, very important. I actually go to a masseuse that is really big on energy. So like
Hmm.
she'll not only do like a massage, but it's like an internal energy test situation. And she'll
Okay.
also like, what is the best word to you? Like try to work with you for your chakras and just
Yeah.
reorganization and like that sort of thing. So I'm big on healing, clearly, as you heard from me on this podcast.
I love it. Absolutely. Okay, so the last one. And then how does Edith Mendoza chill? How do you chill?
That's funny. go and run 10 miles outside. I don't know. That's funny. No, that
That's the truth,
no,
though.
no,
It can be
it does bring me
relaxing.
down to life. So every day, every morning, well, about 5 days out of the week, I do run between 3 to 5 miles each morning before I start work. Like
Wow. I'm impressed. I'm
it
impressed.
just it gives me so much energy, so
Yes.
I'm able to take on the day. So like that's how I chill to start my work day. But if I'm just like hanging out at home, I like to read, or I like to
Yeah.
just like chat it up with my girlfriends on the phone, catch up on the weekly gossip.
Yeah, exactly. So wait, so when you say read, are you more into like sci-fi, romantic novel? Like what gets you going? Like what totally sets the mood for you of
Oh,
like this is I'm chill.
I like two different categories actually. I am a big lover girl, so like these like romance novels, they're like my bread and butter. So
I love
that,
it.
but also a lot of self-help books. I was doing mostly self-help for a long time, and then my therapist was like, "Girl, you need to like you need to read something that's going to allow you to escape." So
Yeah.
I am proud of myself. On Christmas Eve was my first romance novel that I went and purchased
Ooh.
in a long time. And I'm like now been addicted to it. It's like almost 500 pages long, and
Oh
I'm
my
already through.
God.
I'm already through half of it since from Christmas Eve to now.
Wow. 250 pages in wow, since Christmas. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I've been told the same thing. I'm totally into like self-help like myself, but I will, you know what, I'll say for 2026, I'll pick up a romance. I've never picked up a romance novel
Yes.
in my life, so you got to drop that title for me when we have some more girl time
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
catch up. Well, I just want to thank you for being here on Celebrate and Chill. Edith, you literally, I said it before, you literally are one of my favorite people. I'm so proud of you in so many different ways. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with our audience here today. We so appreciate strong women doing their thing and making things
Yes.
happen, and especially in this space. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving parts, and I think you do them so well. So, thank you again, and we look forward to possibly doing a resurgence of this Celebrate and Chill in a future episode.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kanisha.